What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of All Around. This time, touching on GW's 88-81 win over Fordham as they begin their quest in the A10 men's basketball championship, trying to make a run and be there at the end and trying to push their ticket to the big dance. That's what this is all about. Trey Autry, I'm going to talk about him a lot. Thanks to some clutch shooting from him. Finished with GW1. He finished with 23 points, 4 rebounds. Rafael Castro added 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And Darren Buchanan Jr. Was a near double-double with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Fordham was led by unconscious Jackie Johnson III, who posted a game-high 35 points, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. Defender Medora added 13.7 rebounds and 4 assists. And Joshua Rivera posted 11 points, 3 rebounds. Look, I'm going to get right to the point. First half, GW led 43-35. The reason why they led that way, because they punished Fordham in the paint. They got an all-conference big in Castro, and they utilized them in the first half. Him and Darren Buchanan, they had their ways. Decent inside, second chance points. Turn to the basket. Castro and Buchanan, they combined for 19 points and 8 rebounds out of GW's 43 points. So they scored almost half of GW's first half points. They helped them shoot 55% from the field. George Washington team shot 72% from the line. The offset, they're poor 3-point shooting in the first half, but they shot 23%. They outscored the Rams 26-12 in the paint. And that didn't change much throughout the game, but I'm going to get to the second half in a second. They were 16-21 on layups, 1-1 on dunks. That's what I mean by George Washington punished the Rams inside. And if it wasn't for the exploits of, like I said, the unconscious Jackie Johnson III, man, Fordham would have easily saw a double-digit deficit at halftime. First half, Johnson scored half his points in the first half with 15 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 or 4 from deep. Problem was he was alone. He didn't really have anybody else that brought something offensively. Roman Dean and Josh Rivera, they combined for 12 points, but outside of that, it wasn't much production. They were inefficient from the field with 40%. Like I said, Jackie Johnson's 3-point shooting, he was 3 or 4. As a team, Fordham was 5 of 11 in the first half. That's what kept them in it. Now, we get to the game. Fordham actually made a run late in the game. Jackie Johnson continued to score. He scored more, 20 points in the second half to change that, but he had a little help. Defender Medora added 11 points. Abdul Sandala, he woke up, gave us some good tough points inside with 7 points and made it a game. So they were down 2 late in the game, and then Trey Autry said no more. He said no more. He scored 18 of his 23 points in the second half. He had a stretch in the last few minutes where he had 3 3-pointers in a row, and that kept GW out in front where Fordham couldn't really overtake them and secure the win. Then Jacoi Hutchison got to the free throw line, made 6 or 8 free throws down the stretch, finished with 10 points in half, and that was ball game. They made winning plays when they had to, made winning shots when they had to. Trey Autry was 6 and 9 from deep in the second half. He was unconscious as well. In the second half, George Washington shot 48% from the field, 50% from deep, 70% from the line. There's some great shooting from that backcourt, man. And Caputo, once he saw they right, got him the ball. And basically rolled them to take it home. Neither team turned the ball over a lot. Fordham had 7. GW had 6. They both scored 11 points off turnover. So, again, as you can see with the scoring and the playmaking, the guard play in this game is on point as far as making the right decisions, not really making a lot of mistakes. Christian Jones as well. Can't forget about him. You know, a high impactful guard play. But at the end, the difference in the game was the front court. And George Washington's front court outplayed the Rams front court. For the game, points in the paint, GW outscored the Rams 38-26 overall. But also kept the Fordham in the game, which, like I said, during that stretch, they made it come back in the second half, second chance points. They had 22 second chance points where GW had 11. Um, that's how they kind of willed their way back in the game behind, along with Jackie Johnson and Medore's shooting. Um, Outside of that, it was pretty much even across the board as the game went along, man. But again, the clutch shooting and the the inside attack of George Washington is too much for the Rams, man. They can't match it. It was a great finish, great, great, really competitive game. Fordham fighting for their life. GW obviously fighting as well, but you know, Fordham won something. You know what I mean? It's to continue to have any type of chance of having any type of postseason play for GW. You know, they may have options outside for postseason play if they would have lost that, but they didn't. They continue. They move on, and ironically, it's only fitting. Third matchup with George Mason, they crosstown rival in the A10. It's only right, man. I mean, it is what it is. So that rubber match, George Mason, I believe, has swept them this year. Um, Beat them at GW and beat them at home at Eagle Bank. So, you know, the great John Thompson said that rubber match, that third game, is always tricky because the team is hungry and desperate to beat you, and they know all about you from the previous losses. So even though George Mason's a higher seed, you can't take George Washington for granted, especially if their bigs come in and play like they did tonight and their guards shoot lights out like they did, man. So with that being said, man, thank you for joining me. George Washington, again, moves on to face second seed George Mason tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. I'll be back here tomorrow for more coverage of the A10 Men's Basketball Championship Tournament. See you guys later.